Sailor Moon, Serena, and me, Sailor Mini Moon Rini here. And today I'm going to talk about, you know, about this webstead out there a long time ago. And this would have been released around 2010 YL. So it is an old thing that happened. So a long time ago, I was on a webstead known as Points to Shop, or whatever you want to call it. But, and it was, how do I put this, fucked up. First off, their oversight was, oh well, you could only have one reckoning per household. Two, you had to be on it every day until they shift that oversight. And they would always keep on making these oversights all the time. Like, oh, you had to have so many friends on there because newcomers didn't make enough friends. You had to be watched by whoever gave out the link that whoever gave out the link that you happened to follow the link to, you know. And it's not like you could just close your reckoning anytime you wanted to. You had to go. You had to send a back sheet to one of the runners on the webstead, whoever it may be, and then they would close it. They would shut it for you. But then anyone who got their business, anyone who got their, I don't know, their speaker track could call and have it reopened that way. So even if you had it closed, someone could always get it reopened again. Um, and when we get speaking about their speaker track, unlike most businesses, well, I really couldn't call them a business, but they had a hotline deal, meaning that if you called them, then you were going to have to get billed for the call from whoever, from them, I would guess, the one you were calling, or whoever was doing it, and how long it was, how long that you were going to be, you know, giving for it. So that was kind of fucked up. So you learned you were never ever. So someone like me was never going to do a speaker track. Then you had the shout out box, which that was just there to get you in a bind. Because anything you said could get you in a bind. Oh, you said this, you said that. So always getting in a bind with a shout out box all the time. And never ever getting enough to buy anything on there. Yeah, you're right about that, Sailor Moon. The less worth thing on Point to Shop at the time were the Point to Shop things themselves, like fleets and other stuff, but you never seem to have enough to get it. They'll give you all these business wises and other things that you had to, that you had to either fill out or look at, and then Points to Shop would then get gouged, and then they would be the one that would then buy something for you. But you would have to trust them to buy it for you, and they weren't really that trusting because I never got nothing from them. Um, Hackers and anyone else could fuck up their webstead, and they didn't know how to fix their own shit. I'm not making that up. They did not. They would not know how to. The runners of the webstead would not know how to fix the webstead, so anyone could fuck it up, and they would know how to heal it. Some runners on the webstead would take it out on folks. Yeah, there were runners on the webstead that didn't like newbies. They would take it out on newbies, and we were newbies, so whatever we got taken out on. And yeah, so at the end of the day, it wasn't really even worth being on there. You had to make sure that your Evilware Stronghold tool was up to date, or you had a sandbox, or whatever you had. You had to make sure that shit was up, because these folks had all kinds of evilware and shit in their webstead too, and they couldn't do anything about that. So at the end of the day, points to shop or points for shop, whatever they want to call it, or track for shop. And another funny thing, a sad thing is, it started out as a stunt and lark. That someone just made the webstead one day, to see if folks would come on it. So it started out as a joke, as a stunt and a lark at first. And at one point, they were calling themselves, at one point they sold love books and love films and shit like that. I'm not making that up. At one time, they sold shit like that because that was their great sellers. They had to go with what made a lot of gold. And then they started losing gold. Yeah, that's true. Sailor Mini Moon. By the time we were done with them, they had shifted their name over to Casserole. But at the end of the day, it didn't even do anything because it still behaved the same way it behaved. You know, they still had their bullshit followership oversight, which they didn't. Which there was no forgiveness if you didn't read it or didn't understand it. Um, their speaker track was still one of those hotline bullshit, you know, and you still had to send a backing sheet to them, telling them why you wanted your reckoning shut, and somehow, some way, someone could still bullshit their way in to get your reckoning reopened, or still fuck the webstead up and they couldn't heal it. And there really wasn't any backing for anyone. The shout out box was still a tool to get you in bad standing with them. Um, Other runners of the webstead would still take it out on you if they didn't like you for whatever grounds. So I'm not making this up. And they like to go around and threatening folks, staring folks with fines. I'm not making up. They would do that. Oh, it wasn't like, oh well, you got in the bind and we just lock you from the webstead. No, they like to go around and say, we're gonna threaten you with a fee. Fuck it up, and we're gonna threaten you with a fee. Oh, where's your send name so we can send you that fee? Because we don't want to handicap you by just shutting your reckoning down like most websteads would do. And that was a fucked up one too. Well, that never happened to us, but you know, but we did have things that we thought we were gonna get from them. We never did. We did get the shout out box. We did get in a bind with shout out box many times, and you know, we did have our reckoning closed many times. It'd always get reopened again by someone saying, by someone. And when things did go wrong, they never knew how to heal anything. So I don't even know if Points to Shop is still around or not. Oh, they probably still are, you know. But I don't really think I don't really think they're as a big thing as they were. You know, their whole beinghood was going on there and then earning enough gold from going on business flies and things like that, and then a webstead would buy something for you, but you had to trust them, and there wasn't really any trust with them. Then they wanted you, after you got your gift or whatever you got from them, they wanted you to come on and make a film and then put that film on their shout out box or on their webstead, so then they would know that they got the toy, or whatever, the toy, whatever it was, the gift, whatever, because they wanted folks to let them know that it wasn't you making it up, that it wasn't some kind of stunt and lark. So just keep away from Points to Shop, or whatever they're calling themselves these days. If the reason's still around, just keep away from them. It was our mistake about in 2010. While it was our mistake, and we're no longer with them anymore. Yeah, Sailor Mini Moon says Points to Shop and it's a bad webstead, as Sailor Moon says. Keep away from them. I don't even think they're on the interweb anymore, and if they still are, we're done with them. Because I bet you they still got the same bullshit followership oversight, the same bullshit webstead oversight, the same bullshit uh, hotline thing for their speaker track, the same dumb thing about, you know, all that shit. I bet you nothing shifted. They still behave the same way they behaved for years. Even if the ownership shifted again, it's probably still the same way it's always been. I'm Sailor Moon. I'm Sailor Mini Moon. Hope you like this film.